Do you know that some people still carry out research like we are in the year 2010? I mean, like, you know how it goes now. You open like 15 tabs on your laptop. Be scrolling endlessly, and then you know, you just sometimes if you even forget what you're even looking for because of the too many tabs and information overload you get. And honestly speaking, that's a huge disadvantage right now because people that are using AI properly now able to do carry out research faster and smarter and with way more clarity. That's why I'm going to show you today how I personally carry out my research using ChatGPT, and this really makes me get ideas faster, way faster than Google. You get. So please, if this is what you're interested in, just stick with me to the end of this video because I'm going to let out the cat from the bag. Some years back, whenever I wanted to learn something online, there's a way I do my research. I use sometimes I open Reddit, I check YouTube videos, I check blog posts, I do Google search. You know, that's the normal pattern I usually follow back then. So, but you see, the thing it was that it was no direction. You know, there was no direction, information overload. Sometimes it works, but my point is that it usually required a large amount of time. It's really wasted time, you know. And sometimes you just be like, you know, nothing useful come out from the whole, adventure. So before I now started using ChatGPT and other AIs out there, and one thing I did was I didn't use them as a chatbot. I used them as a research assistant. You get. So things started becoming. I think it really changed the way I was, doing research. Now, instead of me spending hours searching the internet randomly, wasting time, I now use AI to, spot patterns. I use AI to, make research faster and to think through problems faster. You get. Yeah, I see research as a skill that one should develop because it's a skill advantage right now. You get. So let me just clarify this. I'm not saying that Google is not necessary or is not useful. Google is useful. It gives you links, gives you websites, but there's kind of like information overload by using Google. You get. So, but when it comes to ChatGPT, now you have something like, it gives you structure, it gives you context, it gives you direction, it gives you faster idea generation. You get. So that's basically what I'm trying to say here. So if you ask yourself now, which one would you rather go for? You understand? So if you ask me, I'll go for ChatGPT and the AI because time is of essence here. Time, the faster the better. You get things done faster. That is the period we are in now. You get. Let me give an example now too, so that you understand what I'm saying. If, for example, now you're looking for you want some business ideas with Google, you say something like best um, online business in 2026 for Google, and you find out that you use like 40 minutes, to be reading stuffs there. So but with ChatGPT now, you say something like this: say, give me online business ideas with growing demand, and then you say with low startup costs, all right, and then with a strong long-term potential. When he has given you the feedback, you follow it up with this next prompt. You say, which of these is best for one person business? Then when it has finally given you that feedback, you follow it up with this next prompt. You say, which of these can be started using AI tools? Now, do you notice the difference? You see that the research becomes interactive. Okay, that is just the difference. Now, so this is how I personally carry out my own research with ChatGPT. First of all, my step one is I start with a broad exploration. I use this prompt to achieve that. I say, explain the biggest trends happening in content creation right now. And with this particular prompt, I'm able to get the patterns, the opportunities, and the problems people care about. For step two, I use this particular prompt to find gaps. So I ask using this prompt, what are people still struggling? What are people still struggling with in this space? So with this, I'm able to get the gaps. What are people still struggling with in this space? Now, why is this particular prompt important because problems is equal to opportunities. You get? So that's why I use this to find the gaps. When I find problems, I know that problems equals opportunities. Okay? So my step 3 is to generate ideas. Okay? And to generate ideas, I use this particular prompt. I say, turn these problems into YouTube video ideas. Or you can say, turn these problems into business ideas. And you can see that from one research section, from one research session, you are able to generate products, entire business concepts, content ideas, and strategies just from one research session. So that's big. That's big for me. You get? Now let us talk about using ChatGPT for content research. Um, I do this a lot because I make contents, especially for maybe YouTube and stuff. So okay, so as content creators, we don't need only information alone. We need angles, we need hooks, we need trends, we need audience psychology, we need patterns. You get? So there are some prompts that I make use of to get these things. For example, I can make use of this particular prompt. I say, why are people always clicking on this video about, you put the topic. Why are people always clicking on this video about, put the topic. Then you say, analyze the psychology. Analyze the psychology behind this trend. You get? Another prompt I use here is, you say something like this. Say, give me a unique concept about this topic. Give me a unique concept about this topic that other creators or other content creators are not talking about. With this type of prompt now, I'm able to avoid posting or making generic contents. Okay, so guys, please, before I go further, if you are getting value from this video, please do well to like and to subscribe if you are yet to, please, so that this can encourage me to go on producing videos like this. Thank you very much as you comply. I'm going to give you some prompts that will help you in your research journey, because as long as you're a content creator, maybe even a business owner, just some prompt that you're going to carry out research. So I want to give you some prompts that will help you in your research, in the course of your researching, because you must research whether you like it or not. You must do research. It's from researching that we get ideas. You get? And the first prompt is summarize this topic like a strategist and not a beginner. When you use this particular prompt, you'll be able to remove they are telling ChatGPT to give you in-depth, as in not giving you surface level information. You're telling it to go deeper, like an expert. You understand? And the second prompt that you can make use of is, you say something like this. You say, challenge this idea and tell me what I may be missing. Challenge this idea and tell me what I may be missing. What I'll say about this particular prompt is that it improves thinking massively. It's it points towards loopholes that maybe there was an oversight from your end. It will point out the loopholes for you. The third prompt I make use of is, I say something like this. I say, what would someone in the top 1% understand about this topic that a beginner would not understand? This basically separates the amateurs, from the experts. You understand? You are trying to get the best of the best. That is the best of the best idea. That's why we say the top 1%. You want ChatGPT to think like that's best, the overall best in that field. You understand? So that's how I usually get, in depth. That's, in fact, that prompt is underrated. The fourth prompt that I use that helps me in my research journey is this prompt. I say, predict where this industry is heading in the next 3 years. Basically speaking, this is good for trend research, and it's also good for entrepreneurs, content creators, whichever field you find yourself. It's very important because you're trying to know what's, like, looking at timeline. You understand how relevant this thing will be in the next 3 years. So I make use of this type of prompts, to just understand trends and patterns and stuff. You get? I must tell you that prompting is already a real skill right now. Prompting is already a real skill right now. AI prompting. People that are doing this right, as in doing it the correct way, are getting better opportunities faster. So it's best that you join in this and get this right. Okay. So guys, people who learn how to research faster will definitely move faster. Okay, and that's why ChatGPT is there to reduce the tension between the stage of the research, the curiosity, um, and the execution of ideas. If you found this video useful, please do well to like and subscribe to this channel if you are yet to, because I'll continue producing videos like this, and so you don't miss out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.